Hear this, Katie? Money. Cash money.
Hello everybody and welcome to Price Check episode 34. My name is Octavian. I will be your host today and likely in every episode of this going forward. You know, I don't really know why I open with that. It's not exactly going to be anybody but me here on the mic. But yeah, we're going to be grabbing our stash tab full of unidentified loot. You guys know the drill. For anybody who doesn't, we're going to be IDing this, checking it all, seeing if any of it has value, and if it does, I'll be giving the justification behind why. And if it doesn't, then I'll give you the justification behind why. Basically, the goal here is for any of you watching from home or the bus or from work or wherever you're watching from to learn how to price check some gear yourself. And potentially for me to learn a thing or two as well as we check some of these items. We've got basically nothing of value on these boots aside maybe from the stun avoidance, which, you know, needs life and resists to be worthwhile. 5 life, goodbye. No life, mediocre resists, a decent accuracy roll. Yeah, I don't think that's worth anything. We've got very good life for a ring and an okay amount of accuracy, not very much. Some flat lightning to attacks and dex. It's also got a life implicit, so that does make it very good life for a ring, and it's got an open prefix and an open suffix, so this ring is fairly salvageable. 90, actually over 100 life, right? Yeah, over 100 life, 106. And how good was that lightning damage roll again? It was a tier 2 lightning damage roll. And a bit of accuracy. That's actually not that bad. It doesn't look like a great ring on the face of it. It's got no resistances and, you know, it's not really too flashy. But, yeah, it's a solid ring. We can definitely list that. Damage over time while dual wielding, yeah, just a bunch of junk. Get rid of that. We've got a life. We've got some lightning damage to attacks, which is a tier 2 roll. Life is not particularly high tier, though. And the flat ES regen per second is not a very valuable roll for the most part. There maybe are some ES RF builds out there that would want that, but that doesn't really go with the flat lightning to attacks and the life. I suppose the flat lightning to attacks could enable LA equilibrium. Phase damage with bows, totem life, nothing too particularly impressive. We've got no life, no resists, same with that, and with this. Yeah, not very synergetic here. Damage with poison can be okay under the right circumstances, since it does roll much higher than most other damage sources, and there are a few decent poison builds out there at the moment. Generally poison stacking ones, but they want poison duration on their jewels as well if that's, you know, going to be a priority. Just nothing of worth there. Double attack speed, I suppose, but no life, no multi, nothing like that. Nothing that we're really looking for. Unbound ailments is not particularly useful as a support. We've got 60 life, 60 mana, some nice symmetry, but the rest of the amulet is not very good. I mean, I suppose 28 all attributes is also rather nice, but no resists, poor wed, poor accuracy, just vendor food. 69 life on a life base. This is a solid amount of life, but really nothing else at all. Phasing, dodge, damage over time, not particularly valuable. Lots of, like, value added on this, so we've got the phasing on kill and the dodge. Those are both very useful little, I don't know, icing on the cake. But if you don't have a cake to begin with, then you're not going to be selling it. You're not going to have a very successful bakery if you just sell icing. I'm sure there's some people out there who would be happy to just eat a tube of icing, though. 51 life is kind of low. The accuracy as well is mediocre, and the fire damage to attacks is also not great, I don't think. Fizz damage to spells, that's an interesting one. Phasing on kill, some life. Some ES regen per second, which doesn't really synergize too well with the life roll, and the life roll is pretty damn low. Fizz roll to spells is actually not even that high tier. I thought it was like a tier 2 at least, but it's down in tier 3, so I think that's just vendor food. This as well, we'll go ahead and get a chrome out of it. Oh boy. That is absolute garbage. Wow. Wow, that is horrible. That is one of the worst items I've seen in a little while now. Okay, Reflect is junk, stun and block recovery is junk, percent armor and evasion is generally not worth much, and especially when it's incredibly low roll. 8 strength is an incredibly low roll, and armor if you've blocked recently is also pretty junk, so this shield just is utter trash. This is probably one of the worst items we've seen in like multiple episodes. Percent fire damage, pretty good roll, nothing else great though. Just nothing to speak of on this ring. It would have been the worst that we found if it weren't for this shield. 41 life, a good int roll, a good accuracy roll, some mana. I think that's got an open suffix for a res. You could maybe craft a res on that and sell it. Nothing doing here. Good accuracy, a good strength roll. All res is nice, but no life, and the ES roll is really low, so I still think that's junk. We can go ahead and get rid of this piece of crap. Vol Regalia, that base could be worth something. It is only eye level 81, which is a little unfortunate, but Vol Regalia is a very good base for ES. The best base, actually. 30 life, nothing else good. Not that 30 life is good. And yeah, we'll go ahead and toss all this. And I was going to craft a res onto this ring. We can just throw all res at it, I think. Give it the widest spread of resistances. So that's 21 total res, over 100 life, good lightning damage to attacks, okay accuracy, and a dex roll. Yeah, pretty good ring. I think we can just put this up for like 10C. It's got a really good life roll, which is carrying it. The rest of it is decent. Sure. That may be underpriced a little bit, honestly. And this one, we're going to craft a res on that, too. This one I'm not as confident in its ability to sell, but one regal is not very much money. And we can just toss that up for 5. And let's check how valuable this Vol Regalia base is. So, you guys know how to do that, but we do want to do it at least once an episode for anybody who's just joining the series. You want to search up the base. If I can click, that would be helpful. Scroll down. We have a shaped one, and we have it at item level 81. Search. And it's just a few chisels or a few chaos at most. This is not a price point that I have a shop set up at. If you wanted to sell things at like 2-3C, you could do so. And there's no reason not to if you are able to invest that time. I just would rather spend my time running maps or that sort of thing. Alright. Let's keep pushing through the tab here. Here you go, Verici, have some more junk. So I have gotten a little bit of feedback on what I was talking about last episode, where I was going to keep track of the higher value items and let you guys know when they sell and how much they sell for and how much under their initial price they sell for. And I think starting this episode, we're going to be keeping track of things. I've set aside a tab where I can do that, and it's really just going to be any item that, you know, gets listed for over 10 chaos. So far nothing in today's episode, but that should allow a bit of continuity between the episodes, and also be even more informative because, you know, I do price things a little too high sometimes. Actually, I am in the habit of pricing things too high because occasionally they'll sell that high, and then I make more money than I would have if I just went with my initial estimation. And if they just come down over the course of a few days to my initial estimation and then sell at the 5C mark or 8C mark or whatever they, you know, should have been listed at, then I make the same amount of money just a little bit slower, and I don't mind making my money a little bit slower. So I give the item the opportunity to sell for more. This is not going to work as an offhand. Auric Mace doesn't really work as a main hand either, so it's just vendor food. This is, I mean, it's got recover on block, but it's got 16 life, so recover on block can be a nice mod for sure. Around the right shield, that's just trash. We've got nothing particularly synergetic here. Poison duration, like I was talking about earlier, but it needs more than just that to make the jewel. 79 life, some flat lightning to attacks, not a very good roll. A bunch of bricky junk, and then an all-res roll. And yeah, the flat lightning to attacks is tier 7, so even though it's on a diamond base, which is, you know, where you want this combination of life res and a damage roll, I think the damage roll is so meh that it wouldn't really sell. I mean, we can put it up for 4C, why not? 42 wed and 42 life. Almost 42 ES as well. God damn it, Ring. You're not very good, but you could have been cool. Not even going to go for that. No life. Same here. Nothing doing on this one. 55 strength, 45 ES, 15 all res, and some fizz to attacks. Now, I don't know the build that's going to want all of that, but that is a really nice collection of stats if somebody can use it all. All of these mods are tier 1 or 2. Well, the life gained on kill is tier 1, so all of the relevant mods are tier 2. That gleaming mod is comparing it to flat fizz on like weapons and stuff, and not on rings. That is actually quite a high flat fizz roll for rings. So keep that in mind. The advanced mod descriptions is not wholly accurate at the moment. I really hope that does get updated because it's probably leading some people astray who are not so familiar with the mod listings. But this is quite a nice ring, and we are going to go ahead and price check that and see how much we can list it for. We are outside of the meta that would want to use this. We're not in an ES meta at all, but a lot of ES builds would want a really high strength roll. It does have a really nice spread of resists, and if they can also use that flat fizz, then hey, that can probably sell for a good amount. Got attack speed with bows, percent accuracy, which isn't very good. Got level 18 poison, a decent amount of life between the life and strength, a little bit of block chance and damage with poison. You know, that actually doesn't seem half bad. It doesn't have any resists on it, which is unfortunate. And it's fully bricked up with mods, but block chance is good. Life is good. And I guess damage with poison doesn't hurt for the right build. So it's less for the socketed level 18 poison effect. You know, you're not going to use this as a pseudo 5 link really, and more for just the 28% increased damage with your poison. You know, if you have your res filled out elsewhere in your poison build, and you just want a bit more damage, maybe you find these gloves and the 3% block is relevant. It's a stretch, but we'll put them up for like 4 or 5C. 9% weds, some pretty trashy life. Nothing on any of these. What is this? Not particularly good. Doesn't have anything as far as an offhand goes. That was my Steam, not yours, by the way. Sorry about that. We are missing life. That would have made this into a very good ring, actually. 6% cast speed is nice, and it's got a good collection of resistances, but I don't think it's good enough that crafting a life roll onto it makes any sense. Some flat fire to attack, some flat mana regen, and spell block. Not particularly good. Good accuracy, a little bit of flat fizz. Some resists, again, not good enough to craft life on. Especially considering that crafted life on jewelry is pretty damn low. No movement speed, no life, no resists. Everything that a pair of boots wants, that boot did not have. And we got 2 more rings to check out here. No life, no life. Okay. You're gonna hear me say that quite a lot if you're a regular of this series. Did I miss these jewels? Here you go, Verici. Yeah, I guess I did, because those are both chunk. Alright, so we can just put these both up for like 5. And we're gonna go ahead and price check this, so. Let's see. We want a ring with energy shield. How much did this have? It's had 45 ES, so we'll just put in a minimum of like 40, let's say. I think the fact that this is strength in particular is actually pretty relevant. Normally I would search for like a high stat, but because it's an ES ring, and ES builds are often lacking in strength, I think the fact that it's specifically strength is actually pretty valuable as compared to just it being a high stat roll. And then we've got 69 total resistances. So we'll just put in like 55 as our floor. We'll see what we find. We're looking at like, well, this is 5C, and this does actually have the flat fizz as well, but jumps up pretty quickly to being 10, 15, 25. Okay. Do we have anything else of note on this? Not really, no. I mean, the flat fizz, but I don't honestly think that flat fizz is going to be too relevant to most builds that are going to want to pick this up. We could just put it up for like 20C. To sort of account for that flat fizz, because there's a lot of similar rings, it seems, at like the 10 to 15C mark. Even this one down here at 5. Which, let's look at this. It does have similar res, it has a bit lower ES and a bit lower strength, but other than that, this is actually very similar to our ring, even with a little bit of flat fizz. We could start it at like 15 then, I think, actually. 20 seems to be a bit of a stretch, because we've got like a diamond ring here. This has been only up for 18 hours, but still. Well, a lot of these are pretty recent. Yeah, I think we'll actually start it at 20. I'll go with my initial guess. So that will go into our fancy new high value price check tab, which isn't public at the moment. There we go. And we'll start that at 20 and we'll lower it over time. And, you know, I wouldn't actually be too terribly surprised if that just almost never really sells, but it does have good rolls, and to a niche build, they would be willing to pay that amount. So we'll list it for that amount. It doesn't hurt me to have it listed, that's for sure. And let's finish off today's episode with some awesome items, why don't we? That'd be nice. Still no good two-handers, as far as Elder and Shaper items go. I'm honestly considering just not picking them up anymore, but there's the chance you hit such a nice one. You gotta click them. That's a lot of text. That line doesn't even fit in the box. Minions have 3% chance to hinder enemies on hit with spells with 30% reduced movement speed. Whew, that's a mouthful. Not a very good jewel, but it's impressive, honestly. Good ints. Rarity is okay, some res. If this had a life roll, I'd try to sell it. Without one, and even with a life implicit, I don't think we can really bother to. The reason why this ring looks like it only has 3 mods, but if you hold Alt it actually has 4, is because there's rarity mods on both prefixes and suffixes, and if they roll on the same item, they'll just visually combine, but if you hit Alt, you can see it separates them for you. Pretty useful little bit of information to have, because, you know, maybe you're going to buy a ring that you think you can craft a res on, but because it's got 2 combined rarity rolls, it actually is full on suffixes. So just make sure that you check that before you actually purchase an item like that. It's happened to me once in the past, and it was an annoying lesson to learn. This is junk, as is this. It's got some flat damage, but that's it. Some life, some strength, some flask life recovery rate. Is there even a Elder mod on this? No, I think those are all just regular mods. Oh, the all-res roll. Oh yeah, belts don't normally roll all-res. Okay. Fooled me there for a second. I don't think that's enough to save it. 22 ES, pretty junk. No life. 14 life, no life. 43 ES, the rest of the ring isn't great. I don't know, it's got some decent accuracy. Good amount of resists. Could put it up for like 4 or 5C, I doubt it'll sell though. And the rest of that is junk. Okay, well I didn't get my wish. Nothing amazing in that last inventory's worth, but I suppose the odds were probably against me. I hope you all enjoyed the episode though. That is going to be it for today. There's going to be another one out tomorrow and the day after and the day after, because we do these daily. So if you're enjoying it and you're just catching the series now, you can, of course, subscribe for more. You can also go to the description and click the link through to my Twitch channel to follow me. I do stream there every single day as well, so you'll be able to catch me live daily on Twitch if you'd like. And what else? I think that's about it. Feel free to leave any comments with questions, concerns, or items you want price checked of your own. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.